All right, guys, welcome to the Google Hangout for the Giant Toa Enduro. Round number 1 of the Enduro World Series. It's 2015. I'm Tristan Merrick, Crankworx sports announcer. 2014, we had seven stops, 44 stages, and in the end, we awarded Jared Graves and Tracy Mosley the overall. 2015 is a new year, and we're down here. Joining me today, we've got quite a few casts of people down here. We've got Crankworx Rotorua Enduro race director, Neil Glatley. We got Enduro World Series managing director, Chris Ball. Hello. No stranger to the Crankworx scene here. And we've got Crankworx World Tour General Manager, Darren Canary. That's a bit of a mouthful, Darren.
It is, but it's just great to be here in Rotorua, New Zealand.
And we're at the Giant Toa race headquarters here in Rotorua at the Distinction Hotel. And this is what you guys have all been waiting for. So let's get right into it. Neil, you've been trying since day one of the Enduro World Series creation to convince this gentleman bring an Enduro World Series down to New Zealand.
That's right.
Tell us all about it.
Well, it's been a lengthy process, hasn't it? But we got it here.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I contacted Chris probably August, the year before the Enduro World Series inaugural season kicked off, and tried to get an Enduro down here. When I was starting to run Enduros then, so yeah, it's taken 2 years, but we got it here, and yeah, excited.
And
we're all excited to be here.
Exactly. We're down here. It's not only, most of the riders come down here for vacations, it's prep before the race series itself, but we're down here bringing a race to everybody else. So a bit of a short off season. We finished up in finale in October, and it's only March right now. So not a lot of time to maybe do some work, change for the riders there. So pretty big thing. Chris, question for you.
Yeah.
Why Rotorua of all places?
Why not, I guess. I mean, I think the last few days or even the last few months with people being here and traveling through and what seemingly the entire Northern Hemisphere riding population spending their winter in New Zealand, the feedback is prime examples of why we're here. The trails are incredible. The community is amazing. Neil has done an amazing amount of groundwork over the last few years, as you said, to just build the community, build the Enduro race scene. And, that's culminating in what is going to be a classic.
I will say I was blown away. I went for a quick little pedal this afternoon, and I don't know, for everybody out there, I do not know what the course looks like. I'm on full kind of stealth mode. Can't tell everybody yet, but I was blown away just for a quick little pedal out there. So, and my question for you, Darren. Crankworx is known for pushing the boundaries of all of our athletes, and specifically our Enduro athletes. Is this Crankzilla 2.0?
I don't know what you're talking about, Tristan. No, I think last year at Whistler, obviously we pushed the boundaries, and we found what the limits of an enduro race should be. We got close to the limit, I think, and what we're going to see this weekend, I think it's going to be a great race. It's not going to be easy though. The course that Neil's laid out is definitely going to test the riders, but it's going to be a ton of fun. I've had a chance to ride some of the trails. Chris and I were out there yesterday, and man, it is just so much fun riding here in Rotorua. So,
did you guys have to sneak out of the room, paparazzi style?
Totally. We'd get off the shuttle and we'd have to stand there for like 20 minutes till everybody cleared up. People are coming up to us. Where are you guys going? And we're, pretending we're tourists looking at the map, and we don't know.
Just trying to figure it out here on the app.
Yeah, what's this do, right? But yeah, no, it's been pretty funny. People kind of chase them around in the forest, but no, it's gonna be a great race.
Very much so, very much so. So Chris, year 3 of the Enduro World Series is about to kick off.
Yeah.
What can the fans expect? I think the biggest thing is the media content's there. What can they expect?
More great racing.
Yeah.
I think, these stages, the course that Neil's laid out is going to just test everyone. You can tell all the riders, speaking to them, seeing their winter preparation, everyone's stepped up the game, everyone's getting closer, everyone's sort of dealing more with the details now. People are understanding Enduro, the format, what's needed, what's not needed. We've got some new faces again, Sam Hill stepping in from the Downhill World Cup. What's he going to do on flat pedals? There's a huge amount of excitement, but I think the racing's just going to get closer, it's going to get tighter, and I think what Neil's prepared is just going to just lay a perfect platform for that.
Can it get closer though? That's the thing. Last year I thought we were at the boundary, like just how close the first and the second and the third was. It's
good point. Yeah, I mean, Yeah, I think we saw year one, right?
Yeah.
There was a ton of names in the pot, and Jared and Jerome just kind of stepped up above the rest.
Cream
Year
rose to the top.
Well, a lot of guys figured them out.
Yeah.
They pushed them last year. I think this year we're going to see more of that. Damien Otto winning around Nico Lowe, having a great off-season down in Chile. There's going to be more names really pushing for that top step, and then that top 10 is going to fill out. The women's the same. Top 10 women are even more prepared than ever. We've even got a new all-women's team this year in Juliana, which is amazing. I think we've got a record women's entry here in Rotorua, about 80 women riders, which is incredible. So
Impressive.
Across the board, I think we're just going to see that middle part of the field and that kind of tail end of the top 10 really pushing the front. I don't know what's going to happen, which is pretty damn exciting, to be honest.
It is an exciting time for fans and everything. So, and for you, Darren, again, Crankworx always pushing, but you guys are pushing the athletes in a different direction. You guys are launching kind of something completely new this year with the Crankworx Series, the King and Queen. Tell us all about that and what it's going to take. Why is the Enduro so important in that overall?
Well, I know a couple of the ladies in particular that are talking about competing for the Queen of Crankworx, and Carol Chilson said she's going to go for it, and she's going to compete in pump track as well this week. Jill Kittner is going to race the Enduro this weekend, and hopefully she'll have a good placing, get her points for that Queen. And it's just an exciting way to have various riders and racers from different disciplines kind of going head to head. You got the slopestyle guys competing in the events that they can do, but they got the racers competing in the events that they can do, and they're kind of going head to head. I think it's one of the most exciting things that we've added this year is that equal prize money for the men and women on the podiums. We're really excited about it. The feedback's been amazing and been really great. And so, it's going to be an exciting year of Crankworx action as well. So
it is. I mean, the equal prize money is awesome. In terms of action sports, that's very big for all you guys who maybe didn't catch that press release out at a couple weeks ago, but check out crankworx.com and read everything. It's an exciting time for all of our athletes, male and female. So, but should we get to the drum roll? Drum roll for you there, Neil. Without further ado, let's give the athletes, the fans, because nobody's been emailed anything yet. They get emailed later on at 8 o'clock.
I believe it's 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock tonight, it'll go out in terms of everything. So this is your guys' first stop to see exactly what is going on. So, Neil,
cool.
It is all up to you, sir.
Sure. Guys, step in when you like. We're going to kick off at Tapuia in front of a world-famous geyser, Hutu geyser, on the terraces there at dawn. So it's going to be a spectacular scene, mist, the light coming through.
Sunrise.
Are you sacrificing anything?
You're going to be around later?
And
booth.
We've got a few traditional Māori, send-offs going on through the period. So from 7 a.m. through to around about 10:30, we'll disperse all the riders, and the guys that will go off maybe 3-4 times during that period of time. So it's going to be something spectacular.
Perfect.
They'll ride off through Tapuia grounds, mud pools, hot pools, and out through the Hemo Gorge on the New Zealand Cycleway. To the back entrance of Whakararo Forest at Waipakapa. And from there, they'll meander through the forest on a series of byroads and trails right to the highest point of the forest. So we're going all the way up to the top of Mount Tawa.
How much elevation are we talking here for our athletes? What kind of elevation are they going to be? We push them on around or stage one.
Well, T1 is 11.81 Ks and 445 meters vertical.
And some legs.
Yep. And they'll have 71 minutes to complete that. So.
Very good warm-up. Again, guys, everybody at home, you'll get a detailed email later on that explains everything, your transition times. So don't feel you need to write everything down at home there and remember everything. So
the sun will be well and truly up by the time the first rider rocks off the start line of stage one. And the first stage is probably what people thought may have been the last stage in the forest. We're going to start with Tahutu Ariki, Kataori, feeder trail down to Tikatapu Reserve. and the stunning Blue Lake, as it's otherwise called.
Nice.
So great stage. My favourite of them all. So we're starting with my favourite. Under native bush, technical, steep, switchbacks.
Physical too.
Physical.
Because it's technical, I think that one. It's going to challenge a lot, well, everybody. We rode it yesterday, day before yesterday, and it's challenging on all fronts, isn't it, that one?
Yeah.
Great start.
Yeah, so it's 3.25k long and a descent of 325 meters.
Some good drop there.
Yeah, take the top riders just under 8.
Yep.
And we've given riders 16 minutes to complete that stage.
Perfect.
Then things get a little bit special. We get to the opportunity to ride on a walking trail for the first time around the Blue Lake. Very, very scenic. Brilliant photo opportunity around there. And then up Tiki Tapu Road, you'll get sights of the Green Lake, and obviously that's pretty green at the moment. And then we get an opportunity to ride on a horse track.
Yep.
It's push. It's a bit of an adventure up there.
It's awesome. You're deep in the bush, and it's not been used for years, has it? When was it? How often is that trail used?
Very rarely. I think I've seen one set of footprints this summer on it.
So backcountry, jungle, Rotorua excursion.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Nice. We got something different, very different.
Yeah, and then perhaps onto a stage that you like most.
I love that one.
Yeah, Crankworx. So a little short stage. It's only 1.62 k's long and a fall of 180 vertical.
Some good drop.
Yeah.
Like a downhill pump track, isn't it?
It is.
So carrying speed, smoothness, going to mean all the world on that.
Bit smoother than the first one, less technical, but then you still got to be really precise, really, really fun. Grid factor is really high.
You've got to carry speed.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Kung Fu Walrus is a great trail. Lots of fun.
That's a new one that came in since we secured the Enduro World Series. So
nice.
And then we're riding along Tiki Tapu again, and up a big climb up the backside of Morangi. To the summit of Morangi. And this is stage 3, is a new trail that I'd like to thank the Rotorua Mountain Bike Club and the iwi, the local iwi, for allowing us to push through. And it's not a trail that we were going to actually get through until after the end of this month. So we managed to push it through, get it early, and get it built. So great trail off the top of Morangi.
Amazing.
A bit of flow at the top, gets steep, loose, then into a bit of a damp valley, and then out of that and down. Film and
our picture show.
So that it's you climb up. What do you climb up? You climb up Time Walk to get to the summit. And then you're down Frankenfurter, Riff Raff, and Rocky Horror to right underneath the Pondy overbridge.
That's got a bit of sting in the tail, I thought, because you start off your side hill, really nice, really fast, smooth single track, and then it gets steeper and steeper, doesn't it? And then you finish in this damp river gully. There's a pung over the top of you. There's a wet rocks, and just as you're really tired, you're struggling to hang on, but you've got to get your line right and be precise at the bottom. So it's almost a combination of the first two in a way. You've got the technicality of one and the kind of flow at the top of stage 2.
You've got a bit of pine, you've got a bit of native.
It's a bit of a warm up, ramp up as we go through into T3 there.
For sure.
Nice.
So that one there is 2.37 k's long and a fall of 340 vertical. Edges then. You've got a 10-minute liaison or transition to the first neutral feed and tech zone of the day.
Okay, cool.
And
so no tech support until they get to this one spot.
No tech support. That's right. You got to be self-sufficient, both nutritionally wise and mechanically wise.
We like that at Crankworx.
True Crankworx fashion. You're on your own.
Leave the pits. At least we're meeting you guys halfway this time. Not until right before you come back to the village.
It's still only neutral tech though, so everyone can get assistance from some mechanics, but there's no private personal assistance allowed there. That's access to tools.
That's right.
And basics, some water, food, but everyone's in the same boat, amateur and professional. There's no pro mechanics allowed.
Yep.
No holding hands. You're in it. You're on your own. Yeah.
You can check out the race book on the website for what items that will be provided, and then you can figure out what items you might want to take with you. Make sure you get through those first 3 stages.
Perfect.
Load up your pockets, and you got another climb right up to the top of the forest, right up to the top of Toa Road, using this mostly the same transition as T1.
Yep.
So you're joining, if you're first off at the start of the day, you're joining some riders that were off several hours later.
Share some war stories.
That's
Well,
right.
hopefully not 2 war stories, but share some stories.
Yeah, it's good that they can mingle with those riders. Otherwise, they don't see them all day.
Yep.
So, they get to bump into them on the way.
Cool.
And, stage 4 is Tihio Tawa Billy T. So what we've done here, and I need to let everybody know, is the map that is going out on the app and also will be posted on the website is actually, we've dropped G-Rock off this stage. Okay, so have a look at the spreadsheet here. The spreadsheet is correct. The map, we've dropped G-Rock, so we finish at Morangi Road after Billy T. Yep. And this one is flowy through the native bush, and then pop out and a bit more flow through the pine.
Yeah.
And this might be my favorite. I love this trail, especially Billy T. It's
good.
Yeah,
that's fun. Little drops, fun little roots and stuff in there.
Billy T is one of the oldest trails in the forest, and you get there's a few jumps in there now. So bit of air now.
Elf went out building some jumps.
So that one there is 2.63 k's long. It's surprisingly long, and 220 vertical meter drop. And we've given riders 10 minutes to complete that one.
Nice, nice.
From there, they're riding up the town side of Morangi Road.
Yep.
And are going to ride or carry your bike up that stage.
Sherpa. That would be outside assistance. That'd be outside assistance.
Push, pull, drag. Do not ask anybody else to touch your bike.
Yeah. Well, you're 4 stages into the event. You're doing your 5th transition. You might be feeling it by then. You can ride all the way up. Well, I can ride all the way up bar one reasonably big step.
Yeah.
That I can't get up. It is rideable.
Yeah.
But you may feel like
maybe not. 3 hours.
Saving your legs a little bit.
Big tire, suspension, low pressure.
Yeah. So you get up there, and we're racing down Hatu Patu. That's it. Just Hatu Patu. Nice and short, straight back down to Morangi Road.
Perfect.
It's a drop of 145 meters and 1.32k. It's the shortest stage we've got. So what we've done there, just like stage 4, stage 5, we've dropped off the last portion.
Yep.
So the table is correct.
Yeah.
The map just exclude damn it, Janet.
Damn it, Janet.
You're probably glad we've cut that off, because the climb out of that is a bit of a pinch.
Read the details and do not practice what you're not supposed to. Because if you come crying, there's zero sympathy. It's out. So do not practice what you're not supposed to practice, people.
Well, from tomorrow, the forest is these trails are closed to the riders.
Yep.
We're going out, staying one day ahead of all the riders, and they're practicing.
Yep.
So the trails they'll be practicing will be fully marked. So they'll be starting from start gates and finishing at finish gates. So
no confusion.
No confusion there. Yep. Right from there, we're up Toa Road.
Yep.
To the top of the national downhill.
Ooh.
And we get to roll off the ramp there.
Yep.
And we're going down Tanifar Trail and breaking left down a trail that hardly gets used. One of the very first downhill trails, which is called Unrideable.
It is rideable.
It's very rideable. It's a lot of fun. It's a little
Yeah.
more challenging, but it's a lot of fun.
Perfect.
It is rideable. we come to one of the few course split options down there just before you hit Hill Road.
Yep.
There's a nice drop, rollable, but it's what, 2 stories high?
Yeah, it's pretty steep, pretty high.
Yeah.
Straight,
Yeah,
though,
it's,
it's straight. So
yeah.
you line up, you know.
Yeah, you certainly
Line
don't.
up and send it.
Yeah,
You certainly don't want to fly off it.
Yep.
yeah, absolutely.
You certainly want to roll 5K off the top.
Yeah.
Or you can go, and there's a detour around that.
Perfect. Perfect.
Down into river, nice sort of lengthy gap jump there, or a detour around that. Down direct road a little bit, you'll see riders coming up that, and down Falls Gold.
It's cool.
Falls Gold, there's a line down there. Back onto Taniwha, we do 24 carat.
Yep.
And then back onto Taniwha, and we take the left-hand line down Taniwha, which I can tell you hasn't been ridden much lately because it's covered in ferns. So we'll be taking the machete down there, opening that up. And so all those sort of downhill jumps at the bottom, we're avoiding those and taking more of an enduro line down the bottom.
Nice.
Out to, and it finishes, pops out right at the neutral tech and feed zone again.
Perfect.
So this is an opportunity for those that don't have teams and mechanics or support to feed and get some technical assistance if need be. Otherwise, what we're going to do is we're going to open up what do you call it?
For assistance?
Yeah, an assistance zone at Skyline.
Okay.
So riders can either take that
So
assistance.
we're transitioning now from the Redwoods over to the bottom of the Skyline Bike Park.
That's right.
In a bus.
In a bus.
Yeah.
Okay. In a bus.
Yeah.
It'll be transported.
Yeah, we're using shuttle vans and
Yep.
trailers. There'll be plenty of those. There's a short commute down to the Hill Road Gate.
Yep.
So riders have the opportunity to feed and take the neutral tech in the forest, or through straight down, jump on the bus, get to Skyline, and go into the pits. So there's the word.
Yeah.
And get mechanical assistance from the teams there.
Yep.
Change your jersey for the cameras.
Yeah.
And fresh jersey is always important for that final stage.
Yeah, so Jared can use both of his new jerseys.
Yes, they're pretty snappy jerseys. They're
Yeah.
very snappy jerseys.
And from there, they need to keep a check on their watch,
Yeah.
because they need to catch the gondola. They need to join the queue with everybody else. We'll be filtering them in.
Yep.
At 2 per
cabin.
per cabin,
Yep.
and they're allowed to take every second cabin up.
Yep.
The other ones are reserved for passengers. And we'll be getting up. The gondola will be running high speed.
Yep.
They pop out at the terminal at the top. They ride out the back gate of Skyline, which was opened for the first time in many, many years about a week ago.
Yep.
So I think we've got CRC or silicone on that gate. The lock does work, so we're throwing the bikes over the barbed wire fence. And then they ride up Mountain Road to the top of the downhill. And here comes the surprise. We don't start at the top of the downhill. We start at the top of Mount Nongataha.
Okay.
So they ride up Nongataha.
One last.
It's a
One
nice.
last get in there.
Yeah, it's a nice gradual road.
Yeah.
It's covered by trees at the top, and it's a sealed road. It hasn't been used for many, many years. It's a gate closed 4K down from the summit.
Yeah.
And they ride up this mossy road underneath native trees there once they've gone through the farmland.
Yeah.
Right to the summit. There's an aerial at the top. No view. The trees are too high now. And we've opened up the very, very old 1998 downhill trail. It was built.
Did you race that, Chris? Just want to double check.
Built by a local here, and he showed me this back in October.
Yep.
And we got the permission from the iwi last Monday to open that up. And myself and a friend on the on quiet got up there. 10 hours later, it's opened up. Doesn't pop out into the old farm block where it used to, so we've detoured back to the road.
Yeah.
So there's about 1 kilometre of native bush trail there that no one has ridden in 17 years. So.
Sounds like a Crankworx thing, one of a kind. Busting out all the old things that nobody ever really thinks about, and just brush them off.
Yeah, we know.
Test everybody. Yeah,
we know no one's ridden it because there's no tyre tracks on it. I haven't opened the start of it or the finish of it yet. So tomorrow morning, Chris is coming up there with me and a friend, and nice and early. We'll open it up. Whilst the courses can't be ridden tomorrow, obviously there'll be a few riders going out for a walk. And we might see them out there.
And that's probably going to add how much longer to the downhill racing. Crankworx is on the Friday, and this stage jumps into that and out of it a bit. But that adds another 2-3 minutes to the top of that trail.
Well, I measured the downhill course at slightly like 20 meters under 2k long, and the track now is. What is it? It's sorry, excuse me here. It's now 3.27k long. So we've added another 1.25k on it. And yeah, I mean the nationals there was the downhill is knocking out that downhill run in just under 3 was the winning time. We're taking a slightly enduro line down there. So yeah, there's been people talking. We've heard the whispers. We're making it enduro as much as possible.
The big jumps are not in play.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Come on. We're on mini downhill legs. We're good.
I don't know.
Yeah, so they're going to pop out of the bush there. They're going to ride down a grass runway. Up over the knoll, join the downhill trail. Ride the downhill trail. We're going to avoid the dam jump, and they'll ride over another knoll with a little bit of a kicker at the top, if Chris allows that. Yeah, Chris is going to say what's going to,
tomorrow morning. It's going to fun please it.
It's a good send you in space, this one. So we'll see.
We use a test dummy on the jumps, and if you can do it tomorrow morning, then we'll keep it in.
Safety manager and guinea pig.
If I break my leg, you get out there and mark all the courses the next 3 days. No jumps. We pop over Mountain Road on a scaffolded bridge, down into a section called the Larches. Through that section, just after a route called Fat Man's Route. It's a tree route. And then we get to a hairpin. Just before the hairpin, there's a bit of a technical spot there. We might put a chicane in before it to lower the speed, and we get to a hairpin. We're going straight ahead at the hairpin. A new bit of cut trail there.
Perfect.
Just finished off on the weekend. Brings them out just before the lower section of the Larches, just before they pop into Skyline.
Perfect.
And that's where things start to get a bit interesting.
It should be sympathetic. I think the downhill track's pretty fast, pretty wild. There's some big jumps. We're trying to bear in mind that these guys have done a massive day. Massive day by this point, and the stage is longer than the downhill. Training's quite limited at this one. They're not going to have much chance to ride these stages in the days preceding the race. So everything will be.
Look them up online. NZ National.
They'll be toned down, but from a safety and hopefully fun kind of perspective.
That's right.
Yeah, so
perfect.
We understand we've made the call for open face helmets to be allowed. I mean, the forest is really an open face helmet domain, and we'd like riders to think that it's safe for them to ride open face on the final stage as well.
Cool. It's a 7-hour day, so you're not going to want to ride 7 hours in a full face helmet, and we want to try and do what we can to make sure the rider's comfortable on that last stage.
Fair enough.
So there's a few rock gardens there. There's a few steep bridges. There's some lines around, some big hip jumps, and what a 14 meter.
Yeah, there's an area there that the locals have started to call Heckler's Log in that area. So
no shirts on the log.
No shirts on the log. That's what I'm hearing. Yeah,
Sounds like a perfect place for a lot of dudes to hang out.
the course kind of goes around just above that, so
Yep.
it'll still be a great heckling zone. So,
Under
yeah.
some nice redwoods.
Yeah,
Perfect,
beautiful spot
perfect.
to hang out in the woods.
Yeah, it rejoins the downhill trail again over a few more bridges, which go over luge trails and downhill trails. The Skyline Park will be open for as much as Crankworx as possible.
For luging and zip lining.
Yeah, and for
Definitely.
Beautiful sightseeing.
yeah, testing
The
out.
wine tasting.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
That's
just don't
stage-
test
that's
out
stage
the-
8.
Stage 8 is always the best.
Just don't go demoing any bikes
Yeah.
afterwards. Yeah. And then pops out on probably what became a heckler's sort of section of track that
Yep.
there's no jumps there, there's no rocks there, there's no roots there, it's just off camber.
Yeah.
So this is right out underneath the gondola, right
Yeah,
at the very
you-
bottom.
Yeah, you can view it from the gondola, you can look up and view it right from the very bottom. There's an off camber section there that we need to test out what it's like in the wet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it might need some tweaking in the wet, but at the moment it's looking pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah, but we'll see how training develops as always, you know.
All
But
the
you're
race
right
line,
under
race
the-
line could cat it in on Friday there, and
Exactly.
it could be fresh and good to go Saturday, possibly. So.
Yeah.
For sure. And it's right in full view. You're right at the finish line. That point.
You
Yeah,
are,
so-
yeah, so the
The big crowd in the bottom in the arena
yeah,
coming roaring down into.
no hiding from the TV cameras.
I'll be yelling at the microphone.
Yep, they got a
Darren
lot.
doing the wine tasting.
Yeah. I'll have to call out Darren. Please come down for wine tasting. Darren.
But you can actually see the course from the wine tasting. So
Yeah, I'm keeping tabs on it.
yeah.
Yep, and we fly downhill. We missed the big step up at the bottom there, and we've finished beside the big table at the bottom there. under
Perfect.
The gantry. So yeah,
That's it.
a few things there. We'll you'll see once we've marked that line tomorrow. You'll see what it looks like. Yeah, there might be a few tweaks. Get to practice it Wednesday morning, bright and early. The gondola is going to open up now at 6:30 in the morning. We get an opportunity to test out how the gondola rolls.
If jet lag is a issue, you
You'll be up nice and early.
You'll be first. Early bird gets the worm. So
Yeah, it's about once you get off the gondola, it's about a half an hour, 35-minute, depending on whether you like to just cruise or ride steady up to the top. And then you probably don't want to roll off the top before 7 o'clock. Although you are at the top of the mountain, and you're going to get the sunrise before anybody else.
Yep.
Could be pretty cool. It's been misty up there this morning, so like with the whole look, got to be prepared, pack the right stuff.
You
You know,
do.
maybe jacket.
very much so.
Yeah, it's.
Backpack is highly recommended.
Oh, I think it's almost
Almost mandatory.
almost mandatory. This one, there's a lot of trail, a lot of terrain to be covered, and that's pretty high up there. Given if you've been riding all week in the redwoods up there, it could get pretty cold. Like this morning. was
Yeah,
pretty cold, so.
yeah.
Pack well. No such thing as bad weather, only the wrong clothing.
Very true.
Yeah.
Spoken from an adventurer himself. Well, Neil, you make it sound very easy. Chris, you've been out there.
Ooh,
Yes.
it's a long day, isn't it?
Massive thing.
Three words. Sum it up for everybody at home. They can be complex words where they may have to look them up on Google later on. 3 words describe the day. What they're going to expect.
Tough, fun, but definitely rewarding.
Tough, fun, rewarding. If you need to know those, check them out online. So Darren, the event's going to be webcast.
Yeah. So
Give us a lowdown of what we're going to do, because I'm not saying we set the bar last year for EWS coverage. We do a pretty good job at Crankworx Whistler. What can they expect down here in Rotorua?
Well, we're hoping to even step it up a little bit more this year. We're going to have you running around the woods, capturing the action with some team of camera crew, getting those stories, getting the interviews, and all that's going to be packaged. We're going to go live on the webcast at 4 o'clock, I believe.
Yep. Well,
4 o'clock.
Yeah.
And the first hour is going to be a summary and a showcase of what the first 6 stages have been. In Crankworx fashion, we're going fastest last.
Yep.
So we'll go live for the top 10 women and top 40 men, starting around 5 o'clock-ish.
Yep.
And really just set that stage and showcase. We got I think it's up to 12 cameras on the course this year.
Ooh,
So great coverage, probably the
Yep.
best coverage we've ever had of any of our enduro races. It's going to be incredible. Yeah, I mean, tons of fun. People roaring down into a huge crowd at the bottom of Skyline on Saturday afternoon. And hopefully everyone will tune in at crankworx.com and check out the action.
Yep. I'll be live tweeting out there on stages. If I see anything or anything's unfolding, we'll be pushing it out on Crankworx Twitter feed and as well as in the Enduro World Series. And like Darren said, there you have it. Tune in Saturday at 4 p.m. New Zealand time, 4 a.m. Central Euro time, and that is 8 p.m. West Coast of North America. So perfect time for everybody to, finish up a ride, maybe crack a cold
Friday
one.
night, and
Friday
Whistler,
night,
pop
Friday
a
night.
beer.
Exactly. So that is Friday night, 8 p.m. on West Coast of BC. So for all of us here with the Crankworx team, again, this is the Giant Toa Enduro unveiling of the course. I'm Tristan Merrick, Neil, Chris, and Darren. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. And at 8 p.m., we'll be sending out that email of all the details. Go off the spreadsheet as the map is a little bit different. So for all of us here, have a great night, and we'll see you guys out on the trails.